CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday, November 19th. Greater Sudbury Police have laid charges in a fatal ATV collision from the summer. On August 4th, an 11-year-old child was killed in an ATV crash off Port Alliance Road north of Capril. After a months-long investigation, a 46-year-old man has been charged today with dangerous operation causing death and criminal negligence causing death. The accused will be in court January 7th to answer to the charges. Sudbury Police also laying charges today in a fatal motor vehicle crash from June. Police had been called to the LaSalle extension around 6 a.m. June 17th. A 44-year-old man was killed following a collision. Police have now charged a 44-year-old man with dangerous operation, stunt driving, and speeding in connection to the crash. Well, plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday. Will these clear skies hold for the next few days? To tell us more, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
Well, Tony, have a good look at the systems map, courtesy of CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. System coming in from the west and the American Midwest. And of course, this is what it's going to bring, some snow and some rain. We're going to get a combination of both, depending on your locale throughout Northeastern Ontario. That will be the topic of discussion for the next couple of days. So again, that should start in Greater Sudbury by tomorrow evening after a predominantly cloudy day. We'll take a look at the 5-day forecast and a lot more and tell you about your specific area coming up in just a couple of minutes. So Tony, I guess the catchphrase today is expect the unexpected. It's coming. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. At a meeting last night, the Near North District School Board elected a new board chair and vice chair. It's dealing with pressure from the Minister of Education, who has threatened to take over the board. Jay Aspin has been tasked with leading the board after Education Minister Paul Calandra said the Near North Board would be the first he'd look into taking over if Bill 33 passed today, which it did. The board has been under scrutiny from the Ministry of Education after a provincial review on the delayed opening of a $58 million JK to grade 12 Parry Sound School. Aspin has pledged the board will regain public trust and confidence.
Let us embrace the minister's binding directions as our roadmap to renewal. Let us prove to the public and to our families and to ourselves that we are worthy of the trust placed upon us.
Aspin has served as board chair before. Bill Steer is taking over the role as vice chair. Well, it's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast and helping a community deal with the pain, stuffing a cruiser on Manitoulin Island in memory of a slain OPP officer.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Okay, all I ask is that you have a close look at this forecast radar. You'll see the system coming in from Western Canada and the American Midwest. Of course, it brings with it some snow and some rain, a combination of both. So that's going to be the weather story for the next little while. Beginning tomorrow, depending on where you live, more snow to the north and more rain to the south. Let's take a look at some of the numbers now in the 5-day forecast. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, some cloud cover tomorrow. Now the precipitation will start tomorrow evening in Greater Sudbury. According to Environment Canada, high of 3, 60% chance of sleet, which is a pretty good bet on Friday. Again, the high of 3, -2 Saturday. We get a bit of a break just in time for the Santa Claus parade. Sunday, chance of showers at 5, chance of sleet 30% and 2 on Monday. Different story somewhat in Sault Ste. Marie. Rain tomorrow, periods of rain at 5, 4 degrees on Friday. Chance of sleet diminished on Saturday to 3. A warmer day on Sunday at 7, chance of showers at 40% and the chance of sleet at 30% come Monday with a high of 4 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of flurries at 40% tomorrow, high of 2, 0 Friday, chance of flurries at 60%. Some sun and cloud, a bit of a break in the weather picture. -3, chance of sleet Sunday and Monday, your highs 3 and 0. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, cloudy skies for tomorrow at 2. Chance of flurries on Friday at 1, -2 Saturday, some sun and cloud. Sunday, chance of sleet 40% at 3, and only 1 Monday with the chance of flurries. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that over the course of the next couple of days. North Bay, West Nipissing, mainly cloudy tomorrow at 4. Chance of sleet 60% on Friday at 6. So it's warming, then it cools down to -1 Saturday with that high pressure system in the northeast and lots of sunshine. Sunday, we've got the chance of showers. It warms up again. That low pressure system quickly moves in. Chance of showers at 40%, chance of sleet at 30% Monday with a high of 3. So, Tony, we both have used yo-yos as a kid. So the weather is up, the weather is down. It's a yo-yo effect over the course of the next couple of days. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Tomorrow marks Transgender Day of Remembrance, which honors transgender individuals lost to violence. This week, we're featuring the personal stories of longtime advocates who've worked to ensure trans voices are heard. CTV's Angela Gemmell has the story and a warning: this story deals with suicidal ideation.
For almost 20 years, Vincent Bolt has used he/him pronouns. It was around the age of 14 in the early 2000s he realized the gender assigned at birth was not the one he identified with.
At that time, we had no local resources specifically for trans people, so it was a lot of finding books at the library, Googling information, and trying to find clues to, like, what do I do next?
He came out as transgender while still in high school. His family wasn't initially supportive, but his emotional distress changed their perspective.
They realized after I'd been hospitalized for 3.5 weeks due to a suicide attempt that if they didn't accept me fully, they would lose me entirely. It became very clear, it's like, we'd rather our kid be trans than dead.
He says there was a lot of learning in those first few years for everyone in his world. That included his high school, medical professionals, and others. Vincent says due to a lack of awareness, he experienced mistreatment.
People who would misgender me, being bullied by nurses, even having to just give a basic trans 101 to service providers, motivated me to get involved.
It was during those teenage years when Vincent started openly telling his story. That led to advocacy work.
Creating a better world for myself and friends who were starting to come out, I needed to do something, and I could either sit on my butt and do nothing, or I could become an activist.
He found a small transgender community and they became each other's support.
It was just me and older trans women. So here I am, 17 years old, 18 years old, learning about wigs and makeup and tucking, but at least I felt like here's a space where I belong.
Those early years shaped a career direction too. Now a psychotherapist, Vincent has many clients who identify as trans or queer who seek out his help because of shared experience.
I know how to navigate the system because I've been through it. When a client's like, I don't know what to expect after top surgery, I can say, well, been there, done that, here's what you can expect.
As Trans Day of Remembrance approaches, Bolt says it's a reminder of those who no longer have a voice. The day honors transgender individuals who've been murdered, died suspiciously, or died by suicide. Each year, new names are added.
To see that some of these deaths are happening closer and closer to home, we need more advocacy, we need more protections, and we need a shift in attitudes in society still.
Despite the heightened political climate, particularly south of the border, Vincent says advocacy conquers fear.
I've never had time to be afraid. I just do what I need to do, because if I just live in fear, then nothing changes at all, or the bad guys win.
As for what's still needed, Bolt says that's a long list, but permanent funding for community groups tops that list.
The Teaching Ourselves groups are running without funding right now by really dedicated volunteers. So we need funders, and it not just be 1-year grants or 3-year grants. It needs to be permanent funding.
Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Tomorrow, Angela will have the story of one of the founding members of TG Inner Selves, a support group for transgender persons. There's also a vigil planned tomorrow evening to mark the Transgender Day of Remembrance. That's at the main branch of the Sudbury Library starting at 6:30 p.m. Stuff a Cruiser coming up on CTV News at 5. On Manitoulin Island, an event is underway in memory of an OPP officer killed in the line of duty. Mushkegowuk Council of Chiefs has declared a state of emergency across its territory. It's in response to the high levels of homelessness. As CTV's Lydia Chubak tells us, the council is looking for help from both the province and the federal government.
Officials are in the process of relocating about 80 people out of this encampment behind the Living Space homeless shelter in Timmins. They say it's a slow process because the shelter is at capacity and there is a shortage of affordable housing. With more than 400 homeless people in the Timmins area and most of them Indigenous, the Mushkegowuk Council has officially declared the homelessness situation an emergency. It's written to the Premier, Prime Minister and a number of ministers to invite them for a meeting. Mushkegowuk Council officials say society has created the problems and society has to fix them.
We're calling on the government, to step in here, step up, and come and help us, with funding, with immediate action.
Timmins Mayor Michelle Boileau says Mushkegowuk Council's declaration reflects the reality and supports it.
A state of emergency, you want to be able to bring an end to that state, and so it'll be important to be able to define what the path out of this is. Until we're able to do that, I'm not sure. Again, I'm hopeful, and if anything comes of it, I hope that at least it can start important conversations and conversations that can lead us somewhere.
To actually just put it into paper or make it a headline, yeah, that's valuable for sure. And I think if nothing else gets gained, hopefully it just sheds light on the fact that, there are hundreds of people in Timmins every night who are in a state of emergency, and hundreds of thousands of people in Ontario, and double that across Canada every night, who are in a state of emergency.
The emergency was declared Monday, and Mushkegowuk Council has yet to get a response.
Yeah, we just keep going, keep going with what we have, keep trying to get them to respond.
Mushkegowuk Council wants to establish a task force that includes all member First Nations and all levels of government to establish a long-term solution. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A senior citizen in the greater Sudbury community of Lively is sharing her story about being the victim of a scam. The caller told her that her identity had been compromised, and now she is out $4,500. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
Oh yeah, kisses.
66-year-old Maureen Potter was home last Wednesday with her cat Mustang when she received a troubling phone call.
I was told it was the TD bank and that my accounts have been hacked. Have you spent $5,000 on this, $2,000 on this? I said, no. He says, we have a Maureen Potter opening up bank accounts at the Bank of Montreal, the Royal Bank, the CIBC. I said, it's not me.
The caller then told her she would be transferred to the fraud department and was instructed to withdraw $4,500 from her bank account. She walked there with the caller still on the line.
When I get to the bank, he said, whatever you do, don't talk to anybody, just withdraw the $4,500. If they say anything, you tell them it's for Christmas presents. I do what he says.
She was then instructed to go to an identification machine and deposit money to verify her identity. The closest was a variety store in Coppercliff. She doesn't drive, so she went by taxi.
He sent me a barcode that has the Ministry of Attorney General, the TD Bank. Again, I still think this is valid. I start to go to the machine, and the store owner comes out and says, stop, 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 fraud, fraud, fraud. I'm going to call the police, I'm going to call the police. And now my heart's beating like crazy. I'm thinking, oh my God, David, I said, they're going to call the police.
She left the store in the taxi before police arrived, but the store owner told police the name of the taxi company. Potter was instructed to go to another convenience store with an identification machine, where she began depositing her money.
And I looked to my side, and there's a police officer. He goes, stop, ma'am, stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing, fraud. I'm telling you right now, ma'am, this is fraud. And I'm so in a tizzy at this point, I don't listen to the police officer because I have David saying, do it, do it, do it.
She says a police officer then explained what had just happened.
I had just deposited $4,500 into a Bitcoin machine that is going into the scammer's wallet.
The senior says she is humiliated she fell for the scam, but is sharing her story to make others aware. She is also commending police for their response. Potter is trying to recover the money, but hasn't yet. Alana Everson, CTV News, Lively.
In Greater Sudbury, police saying in an email to CTV today, legitimate businesses or financial institutions will never ask you to pay fees using Bitcoin, any other cryptocurrency, or gift cards. If you're being pressured to make a payment, it's a scam. Hang up, stop the transaction, and report it immediately. We would like to thank the community member who intervened and contacted police. Manitoulin and OPP are hosting the second annual Stuff a Cruiser event that's underway right now until 7 p.m. at the Mindamoya Foodland. The event marks the 5-year anniversary since Constable Mark Hoving was killed in the line of duty. The OPP hosts the event on the anniversary as a way to give Hoving's family, friends, colleagues, and community a positive event to look forward to on such a heavy day. Officials say last year's event in support of Manitoulin Family Resources was a huge success.
We filled a OPP pickup truck 3 times. And we had a total of 1,790 pounds of food donated to the food bank, which was amazing. And then additionally, the event raised $7,570 in monetary donation. I know everyone, really looked forward to a positive reason to celebrate Mark on this day. Everyone who attended, they were very generous. They wanted to talk about memories, and it's just a good way for us to keep Mark in our thoughts and in our conversations and make sure that we're always remembering him.
Constable Mark Hoving was killed in the line of duty November 19, 2020. He was answering a call about a trailer illegally parked on a homeowner's property outside Gore Bay when he exchanged gunfire with a civilian, Gary Broman. Both men died in the incident. Kirkland Lake OPP and local First Nations held their 4th annual tree lighting ceremony. Members of Beaver House First Nation, Matachewan First Nation, and the police service lit the Tree of Hope Monday night. The red lights on the tree represent missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and the two-spirit or gender-diverse members of the community, with the blue lights representing police. Police and First Nations hope the tree encourages all community members to come together in support, solidarity, and remembrance. She's a former business executive turned writer and writing coach. When we return, our Northern Book Club segment. You're watching First at 5. Our Northern Book Club this week takes us to downtown Sudbury and Place des Arts, and our special guest is Susie Vidori. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. We just landed. It's perfect.
It is. So you're a former business executive turned author. So why did you make that switch?
Oh, well, I didn't know I was going to make that switch. I always knew that I would write a book one day, and that one day came when I was on maternity leave with my 3rd child, and she's 14 now. I sat down to write that book, but it was harder to find information than I thought, and it kind of led me down this path. And after I went back to work after my maternity leave, and it took me 2.5 years to finish the book, 2 more to find a publisher, all those things. And then after book 2 in the series was published, it kind of started to take off, and I was being asked to speak and teach and write and do all things writing, and I didn't really have time to be a business executive anymore.
You mentioned about the challenges of finding information.
Yeah.
It was difficult for you, so what did you learn during that process?
Oh, I learned so much. And because I was a former operations executive, I think in matrices, and I was able to take patterns of every piece of information. I had to really, I really studied hard. I went to conferences. I studied with excellent editors and coaches in the world and figured out this process. And I started being asked to help other people. And then I kind of ended up becoming a book coach, and now that's what I do, is I help other people from different walks of life that haven't written a book before figure this process out, and it is a dream job, actually.
I think I read somewhere, Susie, you said you don't tell people how to do it to get published. you actually help them do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, an editor, I'm also an editor. So an editor is when you take it at the end of the process, when they've tried their best with their draft and you take a look. And then I also book coach along the way, which is you sort of come to me with an idea or anywhere along the way in the process. And I'm there like a personal trainer for your writing life. You know, we know we should go to the gym, but do we do it? Do we know what we're supposed to do when we get there? So I do that with writers, and it is an absolute blast to watch them just, you know, reach their dreams and write these books that are so powerful.
Very quickly, tell our viewers about your first book, The Fountain.
Yeah, sure, it's right here. The Fountain is about 16-year-old Ava, and she moved from San Francisco to New England to find out more about her mom who died when she was 10. But when she gets there, the kids aren't very nice and all kinds of crazy things happen. She gets really upset. She runs into the woods. She finds a mysterious fountain like the one on the cover, and she throws a coin. She makes a wish that one of the girls that she just met had never existed. And when she returns to the boarding school that she came from or is going to, everything has changed, including her own family. And she has to find out about the magic of the school that she goes to and the history of her own family. She meets a boy. There's a romance in this one.
Susie, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Susie Vidori was our guest. And to see more of our Northern Book Club, head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Our first community close-up is from Timmins Shore. Santa Claus is coming to New Lisker this Saturday, November 22nd. The Lions Club is organizing the parade and wants those participating to be at Timiskaming District Secondary School for at least 4 o'clock. The parade starts at 5. Sudbury Secondary School is presenting Grease school version starting this Friday. The musical flashes back to the 1950s and the working class youth subculture. All the fun is happening at the Sheridan Auditorium. Performances are running until next Saturday with 2 shows, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. To Swastika near Kirkland Lake, Raymond Bourgeois sent us this photograph of a partridge. She says it landed on her birch tree near her house recently. Thanks so much, Raymond. And finally, this half hour, Moonlight Magic is back to kick off the winter season in downtown Sault Ste. Marie. Tomorrow, the core is going to be a busy place. There is the annual tree lighting ceremony at 7 p.m., plus late night shopping, and Mr. Bonsu will also be there. The event is designed to spark joy and community spirit. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.